Good morning, CrossFit Throne. Hey, if you've been logging in over the past 8 weeks, every time you log into a class, this is what it looks like when you're on Zoom. The only difference is that I can see you and you're just not seeing me. We'll see each other. And for those of you who are worried about the Zoom classes going away, I think we're going to be okay. We'll still offer those Zoom classes at 8, 9, and 10. I think that each weekday morning anyway, at least for the foreseeable future. We're going to try that next week. Next week is going to be an interesting walk. It's a trial and error. I don't know what's going to happen, but I guarantee you that we're going to have fun doing it. 6 people per class initially, hopefully get up to 7 or 8 per class. I don't think we'll ever get to 10 a class, at least until everything blows over. And then once that blows over, we'll up the limit to 10. But for now, 6 per class. If everything goes great next week, maybe even great Monday and Tuesday, we'll up the ante and we'll do 8 a class. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about, I'm trying to increase the number of classes we have each morning. So currently, in the current model, we do a class every hour on the hour. So I know that the interest for the early morning classes is actually growing, and we'd like to get more people in, especially with this limit that some of you guys would be normally at 5 a.m. We were getting up to 12, 15 people in class at 5 a.m. We can't do that. So what I'm proposing we do is 45-minute classes for the first 3 hours of the day. That will get us 4 classes before 8 o'clock. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. I'll get that and I'll take that into consideration and make sure that your voice is heard and how we move forward. This is all our gym. We put it out there, make sure that you can come in and use it. We want to make sure that it still provides value to you so you guys can be part of this community and we can still get you guys some excellent coaching, even though the schedule's changing, even though the environment's a little bit different as far as how that happens and how close we can be to each other when that happens. Okay, I got that all off my chest. That was a lot, that was a mouthful. This is my last time to really do this video style. I think going forward I might do it every now and then, but it won't be as often. So for those of you that have been paying attention and following along, thank you. Hope it's been helpful for you. Today we're retesting an old classic. I think it's 19.3. That is CrossFit Open workout number 3 from 2019. It's from a year ago March, maybe about a year and a half ago now. So the way this thing goes is you have 10 minutes to get as far as you can into a 200-foot overhead walking lunge. Yeah, you can trade arms, but you must trade legs on your lunges. You must trade legs on your lunges, so left, right, left, right, left, right. You're just covering 200 feet that way. You can trade arms anytime you want. And then as soon as you finish the 200 foot of overhead walking lunges, then you go to a box, which I'm sitting on here. You shoulder that dumbbell one way or another. You can either hold it down to your side, you can hold it up here. You just can't rest the dumbbell on your leg. So it's got to be actively held in your hand, actively held on your shoulder, front rack, or even just resting on your shoulder here. I had some people last year were holding it behind their neck, which I don't recommend, but if you want to play that game, you can. For the step-up box, the weighted box step-ups, it's 50. You have to get 50 of those weighted box step-ups. As soon as you're done with your 50 weighted box step-ups, the next thing on the list is 50 strict handstand push-ups. And that's where everybody kind of looks at me sideways. Okay, so I get it. And then to finish that, you do a 200-foot handstand walk, all under 10 minutes. And yes, there are people who finished it RX. I'm not that guy. I don't even think Trevor finished it last year. He would like to give it another go. I don't know if he's going to post his results for that or not. But the point is, we like to retest things like this every now and then, so we want to see how far we've come. So those of you who did this with us a year ago March, this is a great time to see how far you've come along in your training, in your own physical capability, and see if you can defeat this thing at least a little bit more than it got you last time. So, things to keep in mind while you're doing your overhead lunges. You must not let any loading follow down onto your back knee. So as you touch that back knee to the floor, drive up. It just barely touches the floor each time. So you go 25 feet. Oh, that's one thing. On the 200 feet, you can only go 25 feet in any one direction. So as soon as you get 25 feet, you have to turn around and come back 25 feet. That'll be 50 feet. And then you got to do that a few more times to finish the 200 meters, or 200 feet, pardon. So the way it works, you get, barely touch the back knee, step forward, open the hip, barely touch the back knee, step forward, open the hip. Do that over and over again for 200 feet. If you have to trade hands, that's fine. You can trade it at any point. You don't have to wait for each 25-foot segment. You can trade at any point. You can trade overhead. Like me, I'm kind of crazy. You don't have to do that. You can bring it down, trade here, that's fine. And then get it back overhead. Any way you want. You can do a split jerk into that if you want, if it gets heavy towards the end. And how heavy should you go? My recommendation for you to understand the stimulus of this workout, you should go heavy, only so heavy as you're able to complete the overhead lunges virtually unbroken. If you have to pause, if you have to bring down the dumbbell at any point and sit there and kind of consider your life choices or set it down on a box or the floor and think, I can't do this, then the weight's probably too heavy. You have two options at that point. If you don't have a lighter dumbbell, I want you to bring the dumbbell down to your shoulder, and you can hold it here. I'm totally cool with that. And front rack lunge the remaining lunges. If you do have a lighter dumbbell, get a lighter weight, trade out, go back into the fire, stay on that thing for 200 feet. Get your 200 feet done. I want your 200 feet done around the 2.5 to 3 minute mark. It may be closer to 4 or 5 minutes for some of you, but if that's the case, then you may have gone too heavy. Next is the box step-ups. They do need to be alternating box step-ups. Highly recommend shouldering it, one side or the other, doesn't matter. Watch that dumbbell on your collarbone. Some of us were holding our thumb under the bell, under the front head of the dumbbell, and then stepping from there. So step up, bring those hips through. If your hips stay back here as you step up, you're in trouble. Make sure your hips come all the way through. So there's an open line here, and then whichever foot you step up with, I highly recommend stepping down with that same leg. So then you touch the opposite leg. You do not have to alternate here, but it's highly recommended. If you always step down with the leg you stepped up with, you win. Next thing, don't collapse forward in this. Don't find yourself falling forward with this dumbbell. That's really going to smoke your lower back, cause problems. If you're having trouble there, get a lighter dumbbell or get rid of it altogether. And make sure as you come up, you're trying to drive this hip crease, this front hip crease, as open as possible. And you want to drive it up into the air in front of you. So when I'm stepping up to this box, I'm thinking squeeze up. And squeeze up. And I'm trying to open that hip as much as possible as I come through. Highly recommend that's the way you do those. When it comes to the handstand push-ups, not everybody has strict handstand push-ups. If you want to make them a little bit challenging, but you don't have them entirely yet, you get on your box with your toes up here, hands down first. Box or a bench or a chair works fine. And make sure you lower yourself down where your head goes beyond your fingertips and come back through to this high position. You want to be keeping your eyes on the box the entire time. Never look at the floor. Never look at the floor. Only the crown of your head touches the floor. Next, if you're doing an easier version, say that gets a little bit rough, you can put your knees on the bench or the box or the chair. And then you're able to use a little bit more of your hip to help you drive up through that movement. Good times. So you finish those 50. You should finish those about the 7.5 to 8 minute mark, if not sooner. And if you're running up against the clock, that's fine. Not everybody will finish the handstand walk. I've only had one person finish this morning so far. And then you'll go back and do the 200 feet of handstand walk or piked bear crawl. I'm okay either way. Make sure that you're keeping those shoulders overloaded as tall as you can on the floor. Keep your hips as far over your shoulders as you can. And move fast. All right, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, concerns about the workout, let me know. Your warm-up should be dynamically involving your hips and shoulders and your core. So lots of hollow holds, lots of PVC pass-throughs, lots of arm circles, lots of hip stabilization, maybe some reverse lunges, some reverse overhead lunges, maybe some scales to help that hip start to really dominate the conversation. And the more of the emphasis you can put on your hips and the less emphasis on your arms, the better the second half of that workout is. All right. You guys have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, comments, otherwise about anything, and I'll take care of you. Love you guys. See you soon.